Is the gym community become too commercial? Is it too money driven? Well, let's have a look to see what the Trend Twins have to say, which kind of relates to this.
What happened with the Alex Eubank?
His
It was
dad
just strictly
cool.
bro at first. Like, we were bros.
And like, he was cool as we were like, it, man, let's just run this shit.
We just had a camera in her face all the time.
Like, Alex was never disrespectful. I just wanted my own space after like 6 months of living with him. And like, I don't know, I feel like I was overreacting at the time. Like, I thought he was kind of like, some people were in my head like, oh, he's trying to use you for clout. Like, you got to get out of there, bro. He's using you. I still love Alex, but I hate some of the he posts, bro. He's too business oriented, bro. Like, he just needs to be himself, really. It was too focused on content, yeah. And
when me and Christian record, it's just us being bros.
Now that's interesting coming from the Trend Twins, people who are neck deep in the industry, basically the biggest fitness influencers in the world at this time. They've had first-hand experience with someone like Alex Eubank. Now, of course, this isn't a hit piece on anyone. I don't think there's an issue with getting a bag, with chasing a goal, with building a business on social media. It's more of a case of just, is that seeping too much into people's content? For instance, in that video, the Trend Twins are talking about how Alex had a camera in their face the whole time that they were living together almost. And they were saying also that the content that Alex makes is, again, too business oriented. Which, yes, again, is great for building a business and getting income, or is it? So you look at Alex's views and compare them to the Trend Twins. And I'm not saying everything's about views now, but of course, you have to look at what you're appealing to and the audience that you're appealing to, right?
I'm so tired, I don't even want to hit legs no more. I can hit chest or something, dog. Like, it feels straight. I mean, it don't feel real good. Bro's having a seizure under the bar. Somebody had another plate on it.
So for instance, the Trend Twins, like they said, they just put a camera on and they record themselves working out and they basically just make vlogs of their day-to-day life. And what happens? People enjoy watching that, so they're going to watch that. And they do watch that. They're interested to see what they get up to. They're interested to see how much they're lifting and their physique updates because, of course, they have great physiques and they can lift a lot. Now, a benefit of that for them is that they can sell products to their audience, and it doesn't have to be a salesy way. These guys are super successful. They have their own supplement brands. They have, of course, their collaborations with people like Young LA, and they're not too salesy. Alex Eubank, on the other hand, is just making purely business content and it's not getting as many views, but of course, that's a way of getting clients. And I think that word is used a lot nowadays in the social media landscape. Clients. DM me for coaching, one-on-one coaching, whether it be coaching coaches or whether it be personal training. And I'm sure you've seen it too, but before we get onto that any further, let's actually just look at what the fitness industry used to be. I'm sure you're familiar with those type of edits. The prime David Lade, for instance. And what was the guy doing back then? He was just filming his day-to-day life. Of course, he was a much younger guy, so he didn't have that much going on in his life. But he was just recording himself at the beach, recording himself at a restaurant, at a gym, going to the store, stuff like that, right? And people enjoy that because it's just him having fun. And that's what a lot of the gym community was back in the day. People just recording their day-to-day life and people just recording themselves working out. Look at the old Ziz videos, back when sponsorships didn't even exist, basically, unless you were a bodybuilder. At the Olympia. Back in the days of Jeff Side, of course, he competed at the Olympia, but still. And of course, it was a bit different with someone like Rich Piana because he was obviously promoting his 5% brand at the time, whilst also recording his day-to-day life. So it was a bit of both because although, again, it was for promotion, he was showing his day-to-day life. He was showing himself as well as his partner, his gym sessions, his meetups with people like Mac Truck and stuff like that. And to most people, basically everyone, to be honest, that was extremely entertaining. And from that then, of course, they had the catchphrases that he used to say like busted and shake time and all stuff like that, right? That people obviously just caught onto because they liked his personality.
And it is going to be a Cocoa Pebbles day. Cocoa Pebbles. I haven't had Cocoa Pebbles in weeks.
Then, of course, if we fast forward a bit more, the gym community becomes bigger and bigger, more brands are involved, social media becomes more prevalent and more influential in the space. It then starts to change a lot more after the pandemic. There are more people who are doing it and companies are becoming a lot bigger now. People like Young LA. Gymshark was always big, but they became bigger. Supplement brands became more prevalent, like Gorilla Mine and stuff like that. And of course, they start sponsoring people. Now, I think that's the norm for most people, is them having a sponsorship. They have a supplement brand and a clothing brand. Maybe they have, jewelry as well, or some other small things, but that's what most people go off of. They may even own their own company, but I think then it differentiates different influencers on what their focus is. For instance, again, you look at someone like the Trend Twins, their main focus is probably just being themselves in the video, and from that then people want to support them, so they buy from their company.
I would like two,
Let me get actually. Wait, why are you getting a 1 by 1? Just get a double 2 by 1.
oh yeah, can I get, sorry, I'm sorry.
Just get the same thing as me, bro.
No, I don't want what you want. And
Grown
then,
man.
Whereas other people are going to be more business focused and they're going to be looking to sell you something. Now, this is where my gripe comes in with today's topic, because like I said, there's no issue with trying to make money. There's no issue with getting a bag or whatever you want to call it, right? That's fine. But then the issue is the image that you're giving to people, right? For instance, take someone like the Lukey MC and the Trend Twins, like I've mentioned before. They are themselves. Yes, they have sponsors. Yes, they have their own company. However, they are themselves. They make unique content. People want to watch them. People want to support them. They're a bit weird. And they're really big off of that. They just blow up and they just keep getting bigger and bigger. Then I think there's the other people who are like DM me coaching, one-on-one coaching, gambling. Wait, let me talk about that for a second. There are now fitness influencers who are promoting gambling. Can we just think about that for a second? Like I said, there's no issue in what you want to promote, but you're talking to an influential audience. Most influencers' audiences are going to be teenagers. I doubt that most influencers' audiences are above the age of like 25, let alone 21, which is the legal gambling age, I think, in places like America. And so you have to keep that in mind in regard to what you're promoting to people. Supplements, fine. Clothing, fine. At the end of the day, they're just gym essentials, as people say.
And what is the topic? Turkesterone. Remember turkesterone? You're stronger, you have more muscle, you flex in the mirror, you look leaner, thicker, fuller, better.
Gambling is terrible in my opinion. There's one thing showing people your lifestyle, like for instance, Togi, who I've mentioned about 50 million times, for instance, doing gambling or doing steroids or smoking cigarettes and stuff like that. There's one thing them just doing that, and of course people can make an educated decision on if they want to or not and follow in the same footsteps. And there's another thing saying use my code for this gambling site where you're going to be getting free spins or a free $10 to put down on a bet or something like that. That's absurd in my opinion, and I think that's where it differentiates from the influencers who are just being themselves. People can get behind that. If you're being yourself and you're just, making content that's funny to watch or whatever, then people can get behind that and they're going to want to support you. If your content is solely based on making money, then the only reason why people would invest in you is because you're going to give them something back. It's not a case that they're entertained by you or they want to support you in any way. It's just a case that you provide a service.
Not sure if you've heard yet, but this is the new standard this year, and this is how everyone...
Being lean is a superpower. It's a
Don't eat after 8 p.m. or after dark or after midnight. Like, what are we, fucking gremlins or something?
At Art.
Nobody should be in the gym 6 days per week.
I think ultimately, though, it does come down to what you want to do on the internet. I'm not here to tell anyone what to do. If you want to sit there and, of course, promote gambling or promote, a certain lifestyle or whatever, that's fine. That's your lifestyle. You're obviously going to do that. If you want to obviously make more content, which is just more fun-based or something, then fine, go and do that. If you want to make content that's more educational, for instance, look at someone like Jeff Nippard, look at someone like TNF who give good advice, then of course you can do that. If you also want to make content, doing coaching with people or just telling them how you made £1 million at like, 25 years old or something, then that's fine. But I think especially with social media more and more recently, people are looking more towards the money aspect of things and less towards the enjoyment side of things, if that makes sense. I don't know, at the end of the day, I think people can make the content that they want to create, and of course people then can engage with the content that they want to engage with. I understand that this type of video won't be everyone's cup of tea, but then at the same time, the Trend Twins might be hated by some people. I've actually spoken to some people in person and also I've seen comments and stuff like that who don't like the Lukey MC, for instance, but other people who love him. The guy literally just got 1 million followers recently. Or he reached 1 million followers. He didn't just gain 1 million followers. Either way, though, that's just my opinion at the end of the day. And to be honest, I would actually like to hear your thoughts on it. Do you think that it's too much how people keep saying DM me coaching or doing one-on-one coaching and stuff like that? Or do you think that's just them trying to get to a bag and that's fine? Or do you just like prefer more entertaining content, which is just a lot more genuine? People like Sam Sulek, Trent Twins, Lukey MC, Lex Little, for instance. I don't know. Let me know.